I have a customer that ordered 9 windows, which means I've got 18 window sashes. And you can see they're taking up a lot of square footage in my little shop here. I agreed to put a primer on them. They've already been glazed, so I'm going to go ahead and mask them. I'm going to cut my tape on a little bit of an angle. Just get as close into the corner as you dare. We will terminate right here up against that wet glazing compound, and I deliberately held my tape away so that I can get a little bit of paint on the glass. That's the preferred method. Now I'm going to take a piece of newspaper. I read La Gazzetta, and after I'm through, I use the newspaper for masking my windows. You just cut a piece of paper the size of your glass, cut it smaller, and then come back with a second application of tape. And I don't have to be as careful this time because I've already done the delicate work. Well, this one's ready for paint. Now that it's warmed up, I suppose we can step outside. Oh, hi Steve, how are you? Lovely to see you. I just got through making these windows, and now they have to be assembled. This is a mortise and tenon joint, and this is a bridle joint. They go together and come apart rather easily in most cases. In this case, this one is a little stubborn. So I'm going to take this emery board. You can see some of the machine marks on there. We're just going to ease those a little bit so that this will go together a little more quickly. And same thing here. Doesn't take much. This is the joint that is exposed to the outside. So I'm going to put some linseed oil on that. This is the end grain. And the idea is that I don't want the end grain to soak up any rainwater. And here's another part where the end grain is susceptible to water intrusion. This is some glazing compound that I have heated in the microwave. I'm going to put some of this glazing compound in here. And when I clamp this sash back together, this is going to close it up very nicely so that when these get rained on, I won't have to worry about the end grain soaking up water. I'm not going to tighten it all the way. You can see as I tighten the clamp, that glazing compound is gushing out of there. Now I'm going to clamp it top to bottom as well as from side to side. I'm using 2 3-footers and 2 4-footers. I'm going to take 3 of these galvanized finish nails, and I'm going to cut one piece slightly longer than the other, and then down here I'm going to cut them to such a length that they're short enough that they don't crash through the other side when I drive them home. We've got 2 long pieces, roughly 1 3/8 inches, and we've got 4 short pieces, roughly 1 1/4. I always like to pre-drill because there's a blunt tip on the end of this one nail. You want to counterset them a little bit. Just the same way. Back in the day, they never used glue on these, and I don't either. This is plenty sufficient. So I've got 2 on each joint at the bottom. Up here at the meeting rail or the check rail, we're going to use that slightly longer nail because we have a little bit of extra wood. And I'm just going to use 1 per side. since I didn't glue it, if it's even the slightest little bit out of square, I can still adjust it. If you put a perfectly square piece of glass in here, the sash will follow accordingly and you'll have a perfectly square sash. But since this is the bottom sash, I need to cut a 10-degree bevel so that it will meet up with the slope on the windowsill. So if the windowsill is 10 degrees, I'll probably cut a 12-degree bevel here so that it's nice and tight when the window's in closed position. This is called a shot or a shooting board. I need to come up 6 11/16 and make a mark. I'm going to lay the back edge of this shooting board on that mark and clamp it. You want the bevel to go from the outside to the inside. You're going to undercut it to the inside. The glazing bed is up. I should be able to just make one cut all the way across to attain a perfect bevel on the bottom of my sash. I'm going to go ahead and ease the edge. I don't want this razor sharp edge. I want to take some of that away. Here's another area that's very susceptible to water intrusion. Water is the most destructive element on the face of the earth. Add to that wind and salt, and you've got a very ugly combination. When I glaze it, I don't want the dry wood to draw the oil out of the glazing compound. So I'm going to saturate the glazing bed with linseed oil, boiled linseed oil. On the upper sash, all 4 sides have a glazing rabbet. This is the lower sash, so it has a pocket or a channel for the glass to slip in. Moving here from St. Louis, Missouri 45 years ago, it is cold. I have acclimated to the, well, I've acclimated to the more genteel southern lifestyle, I guess you'd say. We've allowed the putty to dry for a couple of days. I'm going to lay this sash down with the bevel down so that it has an inclination to lean that direction. It doesn't take much. Now I'm going to hit the putty, the muntin, then I'm going to hit the, it's called a stile. This is called a bottom rail, and this is called a meeting rail. Before I put the glass in, I hit the inside with the primer, which is what I'm going to do with this. And hit the bottom. Boy, even though I put linseed oil on that end grain, it is still soaking the paint up. I will hit the top. I should say the top of the meeting rail. This is a little fussier than the glazing. You got to get all of that molding. We'll go all the way around the inside perimeter of the sash. Doesn't take much. I'm Brian with Historic Woodwork in Tampa, Florida. We always appreciate your interest and comments, so we'll see you soon. You take care. I don't mind if you smoke either. Said close the door so I can take a picture of your truck. That way they'll remember you better. I've only been doing this since 1974, so you should know me by now.